Hi everyone, so today we're going to be talking about Khan Academy, and basically what Khan Academy is, if we go to their website, Khan Academy is basically a free tutoring website that's offered to everyone, anywhere, and Salman Khan, who created this website after he uploaded a video to YouTube for his niece, because she was having difficulty with one of her math classes, decided to quit his job and do this full time because the video that he posted on YouTube ended up going viral, and he realized that he can teach anybody anywhere at any time. So if we go to the Students tab, so I'm signed in as a teacher right now because I wanted to see what it was like for teachers, but we can start with the subjects. So I think that his most popular subject is obviously math, because we can see that he has two tabs for math. You can choose it by the subject, or you can choose it by the grade that you're in. He also has science and engineering, computing, arts and humanities, economics and finance, test prep, college careers, and more. What I really like about this is the test prep section, because you can study for any of these tests without having to go to those expensive classes that, in my opinion, or at least what happened with me, was they didn't really help me all that much, and I ended up studying on my own anyway. So if we click on one of these, let's just go to Algebra 1. So right now I'm in the teachers section. So this is showing me all the different ways that I can teach this subject to my students. But if I log out of this, alright, so if I log out of this, let's try it again and go to Algebra 1. So let me start from scratch without being signed in so I can go to the Students tab. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to go to, instead of doing teachers, which is where I just was, which before I move on, in the teacher section, there's many different things that you can do. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's a lot. But it's great for teachers because they have so many different tools to help teachers set up lessons, assignments, finding the right content for your students. And if the teachers use this within the classroom, they can actually track their students' progress while they're doing the work, and it allows them to see exactly where the student is making mistakes, and they can pinpoint what they really need to go over with each and every student, giving them more one-on-one time with their students, and therefore having a better outcome for the students' grades and their learning. So, to answer the question if Khan Academy and the flipped classroom should be a national model used by educators, I think it should, because it gives teachers so many more tools to use to help their students learn and grow. And it also helps students, especially those who are ESL or have learning disabilities, really learn a lesson that they otherwise may not understand by just having one day of class, because each tutorial allows you to play it over and over as many times as you need until you understand the concept. So, moving on, we're going to go to Learners. So here we see all the subjects that you can choose from, which is what was listed before. It just looks a little different because this is the students. So I'm going to go to Math by Subject, and I'm going to click on Algebra 1, and we're going to view the video made for this so we can see an example of what we'd like to learn. So we'll start from the basics. So this is his video. Videos usually range from 7 to 10 minutes.
What I want to do in this video is think about the origin.
So he's going to start with origins of algebra. I'm going to scroll through a little bit and see where this goes. All right. I'm going to go to the next one because I think that this is a little bit better. So introduction to variables.
Let's say that I'm working in a restaurant and I'm making $10 per hour, but on top of my hourly wage, I also get tips each hour. So this entire expression, you can view this as how much I might make in a given hour. Now, you might also realize that the number of tips or the amount of tips I might make in an hour can change dramatically from hour to hour. It can vary. 1 hour, it might be lunchtime, get a lot of tips, people might get some big ticket items. The next hour, I might not have any customers, and then my tips might be really low. So the tips part right over here, we consider that, the entire word, we consider that to be a variable. From scenario to scenario, it can change. So for example, in one scenario, maybe it's lunchtime, I'm getting really big tips. So tips is equal to, let's say it's equal to $30. And so the total amount I might make in that hour is we can go back to this expression right over here. It's going to be 10 plus, instead of writing tips here, I'll write 30 because that's what my tips are in that hour. And so that is going to be equal to 40. Let me do it in that yellow color. It's going to be equal to $40. But let's say right after that, the restaurant slows down, we're out of the lunch hour for whatever reason. Maybe the restaurant next door has a big sale or something. And so the next hour, my tips go down dramatically. My tips go down to $5 for that hour. Now I go back to this expression. The total I make is my hourly wage plus the $5 in tips, which is equal to $15. As you see, this entire expression, the 10 plus tips, it changed depending on what the value of the variable tips is. Now, you won't see whole words typically used in algebra as variables. We get lazy, and so instead we tend to use just easier to write symbols. And so in this context, instead of writing tips, maybe we could have just written 10 plus t, where t represents the tips that we get in an hour. And so then we would say, okay, what happens when t is equal to 30? Well, if t is equal to 30, then we'd have, so what happens when t is equal to 30? Well, then we have a situation, t is equal to 30. This evaluates to 10 plus 30, which would be 40. What would happen if t is equal to 5? Well, then this would evaluate to 10 plus 5, which is equal to 15. Now, I want to be clear. We didn't even have to use t.
Okay, so I'm going to end the video there. This was just a short video to watch to just show what he does, especially with math problems. I think that this platform is really great because he writes out everything that he's doing. And as he said in the video that we watched in our previous assignment on Monday, the 60 Minutes interview on him, he said that most of the time he is doing these problems in real time as he's recording them. So he is also learning from what he's teaching to his students around the world. And just simple videos like this are extremely helpful, and the way that he has subtitles on there as well is great for those who have English as a second language so that they can really understand what's going on in the video, but also gives them the opportunity to read everything he's saying and really understand what he's saying. So basically, I just want to end with Khan Academy is something that I really think should be implemented into a lot of classrooms. Maybe not high school, but kindergarten through 8th grade. I think that this could be a really great tool for students to use and for teachers to use, because it really gives those students an extra chance to understand what's going on in each lesson. And there's nothing better than a free learning tool. I mean, and this has everything you can possibly think of, especially for subjects that are being learned from kindergarten through 8th grade. And as their mission statement says, let's see if we can go back to their original homepage. So if we scroll down at the bottom, right here it says, our mission is to provide a free, world-class education to anyone, anywhere. I think that this is amazing. It's amazing to me that he quit his job because he wanted to help those everywhere around the world get a free education. Because, with schools these days, especially college, tuition is crazy, and some people just can't afford to go to school. And for those that are in, positions that they can't even make it past high school or even to high school, they have this platform to learn and to teach themselves. And, some people can't afford to have a tutor after school hours, so this is a great way for people to better their education. And I think that it should be used everywhere. Thank you.